A United States Navy F-18 fighter jet opened fire on an Iranian oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman and stopped the ship by force after the vessel ignored repeated warnings to change course. This Thursday, May 7, 2026, the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz faces a new pressure point. On one side, Washington claims it was simply enforcing the naval blockade against vessels entering or leaving Iranian ports. On the other side, Tehran tries to turn the episode into resistance propaganda, while also releasing images that are said to be of a United States reconnaissance drone shot down over Hormuz. I'll tell you all about that in a moment, but right now you'll want to be subscribed to the channel to stay well informed with real-time information in the best journalistic quality ever seen with Milson Alves' standard of credibility. The ship tried to head to Iran, was ordered to stop, did not comply, and ended up having its rudder disabled. 20mm cannon shots fired by an F-18 launched from the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln. The ship that was hit is the MT Hasna, an oil tanker flying the Iranian flag, which, according to the United States Central Command, was sailing in international waters toward an Iranian port in the Gulf of Oman. The vessel was empty, but the target wasn't the cargo. The target was the attempt to break the blockade. The American forces monitored the movement. They issued several warnings and informed the crew that the route violated the rules imposed by Washington. When the Hasna kept advancing, the United States Navy used a fighter jet to disable the rudder, prevent it from reaching the Iranian port, and show that the blockade is not just pressure rhetoric. So far, there has been no official announcement of deaths in the case of the MT Hasna. The public information released by the United States mentions a disabled ship, a damaged rudder, and an interrupted route, with no confirmed reports of fatalities. This is important because it shows the type of action that was chosen. It was not an attack to sink the oil tanker, but a calculated action to disable the ship's steering and prevent it from completing its journey. Reuters reported that on May 4, 2026, American forces destroyed 6 small Iranian vessels and intercepted cruise missiles and drones launched by Iran, while Admiral Brad Cooper said that the Revolutionary Guard was trying to disrupt the American operation. According to Reuters, the American operation involves destroyers, aircraft, undersea assets, and a defensive deployment much larger than a typical escort for commercial ships. And that's where the possible downed drone comes in as a dangerous element. Brasilia reported on May 7, 2026 that Iranian media released a video allegedly showing wreckage of a United States reconnaissance drone shot down by Iranian forces over the Strait of Hormuz. So far, the public statements still require caution. The material was presented by the Iranian side, and full independent confirmation does not appear at the same level as the official American statement about the tanker. Even so, politically, Tehran tries to sell the image of a direct response, as if to say that if Washington targets Iranian ships, Iran can also hit the United States' eyes in the sky. The main point is simple. Iran is trying to test how far it can go. First, it threatens navigation. Then it puts pressure on cargo ships. Next, it tries to deny how strong the American operation is. Now, with the drone incident, it tries to show that it still has air defense capability around Hormuz. But the American reaction against Hasna shows that the United States Navy has started to act with less tolerance. The ship was warned, ignored the orders, and was stopped. The Iranian regime wanted to use the vessel to demonstrate that the blockade could be challenged. It ended up giving Washington a display of naval authority in the midst of a crisis. On the diplomatic front, the case carries weight precisely because it happens while there is still talk of an agreement to end it. This is the most uncomfortable aspect for Tehran. While its representatives try to negotiate solutions, its ships and military forces remain involved in incidents that reinforce the image of defiance. For Trump, this increases the pressure. The White House's logic is to push Iran toward a choice: accept limits, allow maritime passage, and reduce tension, or continue to see its maneuvering capability cut at sea, in the air, and in the economy. What happens now? 3 immediate paths are likely to follow. First, the MT Hasna is off the route to Iran and must depend on towing, inspection, or a new military decision about its fate. Second, the ongoing blockade targets vessels that try to enter or leave Iranian ports without authorization. Third, the video of the downed drone will be used by Tehran as a piece of propaganda, even if Washington handles the information cautiously or takes time to confirm details. In war, images also become political ammunition. And Iran knows that. History shows that this kind of confrontation in the Gulf rarely remains isolated. On April 18, 1988, during Operation Praying Mantis, the United States Navy attacked Iranian targets in the Persian Gulf after the frigate USS Samuel B. Roberts struck a mine. The action destroyed or disabled Iranian platforms and vessels in the Persian Gulf and was marked as one of the largest American naval operations since World War II. At that time, Iran was also relying on mines, speedboats, and pressure against ships. The American response was swift and set a clear precedent. When Tehran turns the trade route into an arena for provocation, the United States Navy tends to respond with organized force. Another historical fact clarifies o peso do possível drone abatido. On June 20, 2019, Iran shot down a United States RQ-4 Global Hawk drone in the Strait of Hormuz region. Tehran claimed that the aircraft was in its airspace. Washington said it was shot down in international airspace. At the time, the incident almost led to a direct military attack. Reuters reported that the drone was used for intelligence gathering over maritime and coastal areas with an estimated cost of $130 million. In other words, when Iran shoots down or claims to have shot down an American drone, it's not just hitting a machine. It is trying to challenge the United States surveillance over a vital route. Examples from other nations also illustrate the same pattern. Whoever threatens strategic maritime corridors ends up attracting a military response, coalitions, and economic pressure. In the Red Sea, attacks on commercial vessels by the Houthis led the United States and its allies to expand naval defense operations. In the Black Sea, the war between Russia and Ukraine also showed that export routes, ports, and ships become instruments of pressure when a war affects trade. In Hormuz, the difference is even more serious because the corridor is small, sensitive, and directly linked to the global price of oil. Iran tries to use this geography as a shield. The next step now depends on Tehran to step back and negotiate or insist on confrontation and see American pressure tighten even more. I'm Milson Alves, an international affairs specialist, and my purpose is to keep you well informed with the truth every day. The news links are in the video description. Like this video, subscribe, and check the comments at the end to engage more with the community. Milson Alves.